Everybody is familiar with the Bumble app. It's in over 150 countries with over 50 million users, and now there's a lot of focus on Bumble Biz. What is Bumble Biz, and what are some of the features people can expect?
So Bumble Biz is essentially a networking space, not for dating, not for friendship, but just for business opportunities. And we think the best way that it gets used is sort of when you are wanting to change careers, start a career, when you're trying to look for resources in an area that you just don't feel like you have. And so if you are, an editor and you're looking for content to learn how to edit, then you reach out and you find someone who's a director. Or if you want to be in the tech space, you find someone we've done these networking events with Bumble actually in Canada. We did it in Toronto.
I think one of our best ones was here in Toronto.
In Toronto, yeah. And Sarah had this great example of we spent like 10 minutes with each person talking about how they're trying to get their careers off the ground. And it turned out that these two different women were in the same room and they both had perfect counterpart qualities to start a company together.
It's very much network focused, like
very
networking.
much network focused. But we spoke to everybody. It was like a mixer, and we spoke to everybody, like 8 women at a time. And we were the ones that said, wait, the woman we talked to 2 minutes ago is like-minded. She is interested in the same space you're interested in. We connected them, but it's just a reminder that putting yourself out there is more important than you realize. Be the person to raise your hand. Be the person who goes out of their way to make it happen for yourself. Just because you are a real estate agent at 31 years old doesn't mean that you can't go develop an app for children if that's actually your passion. And we are living in a time now where it is possible. And Bumble Biz gives you the tools to make it happen.
Well, I think what's interesting is you touched on it. It's creating a safe space and a respectful space, because I can imagine networking, no matter who you are, can be quite daunting. How have you seen people evolve? Because I imagine even taking that first step on reaching out to somebody, even on an app, can be a little scary if I'm trying to look for a job or ask for help in a professional environment, and especially as females, because there aren't that many opportunities, and only now are we seeing people open up and actually say, hey, come to the table, here's an environment that you can actually work together.
Yeah, and Bumble goes out of its way to make it, it's the safest place to be.
Yes. To me, it feels sort of like you're at summer camp and there's like a camp leader that's going like, okay, you can't do this to this person and this has to be fair, and you guys have to have these things separate. So Bumble's very responsive to any woman, any person who has a complaint about not feeling safe, feeling bullied, feeling attacked, feeling like something was inappropriate. It doesn't take them very much time to step in and handle the situation. So, and then I also think that Bumble's main messaging is about making the first move. So every messaging that they have that comes out is always about empowering you and helping you feel safe around it. That if it doesn't go the way you wanted it to, that's okay too. Like sometimes you fail, but you're failing in a safe space, and like you fail in person. Walking up to someone, at a bar and saying like, hey, do you want to go out with me is like the scariest thing in the world. Rejection, I think, is probably everyone's biggest fear, no matter how good looking you are, no matter how successful you are in every area of your life. The fear of someone not wanting you the way that you want them, or the opportunity that you want, is really terrifying. So this is a space where you go like, it's possible that you might fail at this, but it also will be okay because you have this huge community of people there supporting you.
It's interesting, my interaction with Bumble, I was at a restaurant in LA and I was surprised at the culture. How do you go about creating something like it? Because it starts online and then it moves offline, which I can imagine is very difficult, but the same culture seems to spread. These women were so supportive. They were from different backgrounds, different ages, and they were there networking and helping each other.
I really believe that you feel the intention of the founder in the product you're using. And it doesn't matter if it's an app or if it's like any kind of company that you interact with, you feel the intention of the founder. Whitney truly has the intentions of what you experience. She wants women to be inclusive with each other.
And it's contagious.
Kind to each other. It is contagious. And there's really like no tolerance for mean girl behavior, bullying.
And so for you guys, what's your plans? What's your goals to take Bumble to the next level?
I think it's sort of limitless. As you know, Blackstone is now a partner with Bumble, and I think the combination of what Whitney sees and the combination of what they see is just a recipe for success. I think it's limitless, the possibilities.
Whitney just created this thing that we are now trying to help take into the world. And so because we travel a lot and we are out in the public speaking to people all the time and using the app in different ways and showing people how it works, we're sort of just like we're like a way for people to see into something that they would have not experienced before. And so we want to be able to continue traveling. We come to Canada a lot for Bumble, and we love coming up here. And so we want to travel and spread the word because we want more people to be, you know, using the resources that are there for them.
But we also think that the way that finding a spouse, finding a partner on a dating app, it's normalized now. There is no stigma attached to it. It's very simple, like, oh, I met my husband, I met my wife, we met on Bumble. It just rolls off your tongue. But there is still sort of a stigma around maybe finding a friend on the internet, which, you know, makes sense. It's new. Finding a job possibly, but I think the goal is to grow Bumble BFF and Bumble Biz to the same degree that Bumble Date is. And I think that's going to happen.